Uptown Party.
The conversations on Off the Record podcast are strictly social. They should not be reported on as facts or as news stories. They're simply perspectives of persons who are sharing their experiences as they remember it. These are their stories. You know, it's Big FLVCKO and welcome back to Off the Record, where we speak to St. Vincent's most influential people here and abroad. And today I have with me an artist, an icon, a farmer, an all-round legend in the soca scene here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I have with me HANCE JOHN tonight.
Well, I had to say, it's an honor to be here because it's a long time you're supposed to bring me on this program. So I finally reached. You understand? I've been following the program, right? And you're doing a great job.
Thank
and
you
I
very
big
much.
up on that.
Thank you very much.
You understand? All wrong, I can't avoid you because you're my co-worker. You understand? And you're my brother in the industry as well too, in the creative industry. So big up to you, bro. You're doing an excellent job.
Big up you, HANCE.
And good night to everyone who also was going to view and listen to this podcast. Make sure you share the thing and make sure the thing go viral. You understand?
Come on.
Mad.
So, you see, I usually ask people. So you come up with the name HANCE JOHN, but I can't ask you that.
Yeah, because, well, if we had to go back in time, I was conceived. Mom and dad, you know, my dad was a farmer, right? Mr. Westfield Theodore John, also known as Jericho. And it's because you hear the Westfield as well. They should ring a bell because Westfield Farms.
Okay.
Actually named after my farmer, after my father.
Okay.
Because he was into the whole farming thing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right? So, and my mom, Mrs. Cynthia John, as well. So that's how I got the name Mr. HANCE JOHN.
Okay.
Right, but my second name, I would not say that on camera.
You just say it. say it.
But all in all, my both parents, they were, especially my mom. My mom, she's an avid reader and stuff like that. So, the name really derived from, reading books and, not just looking for a name. So, HANCE JOHN, it is.
All right. Well, HANCE, what motivated you to get into music?
I grew up in church. It was mandatory that we attend the church. And my
Which
dad...
church is that?
St. Matthias Anglican Church. And I live next to a church.
Okay.
Yeah, right? Yeah, church on the hill, so I'm less than a stone throw away from the church. My dad, back in the days when my grandma was alive, she was very active in church. She used to be the pianist, you understand? So Miss Matilda Robertson, and it was mandatory that we attend the church. Something because I come from the old school era. I grew up, my dad as an old man, you understand, and he have certain values and morals, that he would have instilled in his children, and it was always mandatory that we attend the church and take part in the church activities such as harvest. Harvest back in the days used to be a big thing.
Yeah.
You understand? So that is how it really all came about, and I have, siblings who are also musicians and singers, songwriters. I'm from a musical family, so to speak.
Okay.
So that would have influenced me. I used to be in the backyard because we have a big backyard, right? And my brother Fenton is also a gospel singer, well known in the gospel arena. Fenton John, right? Scorpion also is my nephew. Colin Lucas is also my cousin. The man is sing 5, 10 cents.
Very right? Serious family
work. Icon as well. Icon who had a big tune, Alana's here, right?
Big tunes.
Yeah, big tunes, and I grew up.
Big up Icon.
We had a nice coconut tree. 2 coconut trees we had. 2 grafted mango tree as well. And them guys used to have the bamboo stick after they finished chucking down the coconut. And they had the stick from the mango tree and they're going to be knocking and singing and stuff like that. And they're preparing for harvest. Because you used to go in the churches, that's where the first platform actually could showcase. It's in the church. And then from church, you could take that into school. So I grew up watching, I saw my brothers and singing and harmonizing. Them times I didn't even know to harmonize or to sing. Oh, you sing alto, you sing octave, or you sing bass and stuff like that. But I was just curious as to what is happening, and I know I could have belt out a couple notes, but to say on a professional level, I was just curious in terms of the music, and I love what I saw. Because the guys used to be making up music, songs on the spot, Scorpion and Fenton right through.
So you remember your first time in the studio?
Yeah. I'm no stranger when it comes to studio, because back in the days, Icon, I used to attend a lot of studio session with Icon, being in the band room as well. Because I started singing from church into school, Junior Calypso Soca Monarch, and
Yeah, I remember that.
the transition into a band room and a studio is somewhat similar. But I attended a lot of studio session with Icon. I talking about where we went to studios, and that's just being the entourage, or being a part of the entourage, and learning the whole process of studio recordings, how he go about singing and delivering the song. Time was megawatts. Big up to Fresh.
Big up Fresh every time, the Fresh.
Because the Fresh, it was Diamonds. And then
That's Diamonds, boy? Yeah,
Diamonds, yeah.
And I mean, when I say Prospect, but I remember
and
now.
even if we had to backtrack a bit more as well too. Because we had the recording sessions at the time of the Junior Calypso Soca Monarch with Mr. Junior Sutherland, who is still actively helping
At
Cane Garden. And
yeah,
he's also
yeah.
the music teacher at the St. Vincent Grammar School.
Yes.
For years now, and he's been doing a great job. And he has, really pioneered the whole Junior Calypso Soca Monarch in terms of the evolution, where the students are given the opportunity to do music for CXC, also to use the studio, to be exposed to the instruments and a band room and so forth. A lot of persons could tell you that some of the dominant singers today and who would have passed through St. Vincent Grammar School and music on a whole, right, could attest to Mr. Junior Sutherland being a pioneer.
Yeah, big up Mr. Sutherland.
Yeah, big up Junior, man, every time. So it was Junior, Fresh, also Adrian Bailey, as I told you, I exposed to going to the various band room and and the studio sessions and stuff with Icon, and I learned a lot until eventually my time came to record.
So is it that you came from a musical family, as you say, you were through that family you were able to be exposed to other musicians at the time. And from there you were encouraged to participate in the junior Soca Monarch.
Yeah, at a very early age, and that's since 2003. The very first time I tried before was earlier, like 2000, thereabout. Yeah.
You remember the first time you won?
Yeah.
Walk me through that.
I look a black boy from Evisham, dressed like Super Blue, in a red balloon pants and a white vest and a durag tying up my head. The song was written by Scorpion, Heat It Up.
Okay.
I was the smallest in the competition because he had big men, and them the time they had Mint. Mint and them man used to dominate. Eggy B, you had Icon, you had Kanisha Cook. You had persons who had a name. Even Fernando was a part of the competition. You had persons who...
I didn't even know that.
I was just a little kid. Well, a bit older than me. I was in the primary school and competing with persons who are attending secondary school and college as well too. So, I was little but very tallow and full of energy and always ready to deliver, and I could sing. And I delivered, and I saw the park lift up. As a kid, your wildest imagination to see Victoria Park lift up for you and give you a big, standing ovation, and I say, yo, this youth man bad is a different kind of feeling that I cannot even replicate to now. First time winning a title, First time coming from Evesham into town in the big yard on a big stage. But I was always excited and, ready and eager to really showcase my talent, to show, hey, I worth being here. It was just a magical moment for me. It was very, very something I will never forget. And that is the true, that's the whole catalyst of where am I, where I'm at today in terms of my musical career and how it all started. Can never forget that the first time wearing a crown and, one day they said, yo, HANCE JOHN from Evesham Primary School.
The school the next day and everybody cheering for you.
The community. It wasn't even more about the school. It was like the community, the entire America Valley. Because my dad, he was a very popular guy as well too. Jericho, and he was like, boy, Jericho son win the soca, Junior Soca Monarch, Calypso Monarch, whatever the case may be. And just me, it was one of the greatest feelings. I saw Scorpion cried. Because, we started this thing from backyard to church. And my dad had a problem initially, with it, because we off the record. So I could say this, my dad had a problem in terms of the music. He's saying,
a Christian guy?
Not really a Christian guy, but he, his belief was that, boy, and school first, book first. You understand? And you need to focus on your book, and Scorpion come now and distract you with all these stuff. But when I won, he was one of the first persons to even reach Victoria Park. And, that's my son, and so forth. I must say that my family has always been supportive of my musical career and anything I do musically. They're always supportive and they have my back. So it was a great, great feeling. I won't lie. It really opened up my eyes, because back in the days, you saw Marshall Montano and say, boy, when he did Too Young to Soca and he grew older with Ecstatic and he mashing up the stage. And trust me, I used to. Them time the tempo had just came on the scene. And I used to watch the journey of the Soca King, Marshall Montano. And I said, boy, I really want to touch that stage like him too as well. Too, because I started off from the juniors. Yeah, so all that is really the catalyst. So.
Well, you have me reminiscing, because I remember Tempo, and Tempo did a lot for the culture. They really did a lot. So I don't know if they will come back or if it's still going. I don't know what had happened, but Tempo, you did a really good job, man.
Because you used to have all the backstory, the background story, and the history of where they came from, other artists too, where they are now. They done Rupee, they done Marshall, Destra, Alison Hines, Kevin Nickel, you name it. And for that, that really opened up my eyes as well, and listening to different music. But Junior Calypso and Soca Monarch was the platform that will really help me to be at this level where I'm at today. Yeah.
And you have to big it up.
Yeah, I gotta say,
you have to
because
keep supporting it,
You see, big up to the CDC, because the preservation, the culture, the cultural preservation, especially with the youths, is is needed and is very important, because we see a lot of artists came through the Junior Calypso and Soca Monarch.
Very true.
You understand? Myself, Bomani, Chanel Mackenzie, Royal. You understand? If I miss anyone, Fernando was a part of it as well too. A good bit of artists, Kemi. All these guys came through.
Yes, Kemi was in competition.
Yeah, man, Kemi. A lot of artists came through. You name it.
So then, after that win, that's when you recorded your first song?
Well, at the time, I was recording because Junior Sutherland, he had the studio, and he started allowing, the schools to record the songs. Okay. It was not just that you go in a band room and sing.
Okay, I didn't know you recorded.
You could get to record your song. I remember vividly, Alan, Sardine, let's call him Shady. But that is donkey years ago. He is a producer as well too.
Okay.
You understand?
And that song was playing on radio and stuff?
Yeah, the juniors used to get the opportunity that they record the song that, recorded, that they could play on the radio, and the persons know that, hey, This is Evesham Methodist Primary School, HANCE JOHN, this song and what's not. I tell you, Mr. Junior Southern has been doing a great job. He pioneered this thing to a great extent. You understand? At least you could record. He had a recording.
I would say, right, that you have a unique experience there. Because a lot of the artists that we've spoken to up here, they would say, we will be submitting songs, and radio saying, hey, you're not good enough, the quality not good enough.
I can tell you this. And at the time, it was 7 or 5. You used to play all the music beforehand, before you could go to Victoria Park. You had a pre-recording. And then from there on, as I got deeper, as I dive deeper into the music, and I'm more intrigued and my mind started to open towards the whole creative industry, not just music, because I'm now being exposed to the band life, live music, live band. And I link up with Mr. Adrian Bailey, and that is when I would have done my professional recording. Apart from Megawatts with Fresh, I recorded a song called Juve Morning on a rhythm.
With who?
That rhythm had a good bit of persons on it, I could never forget that rhythm, It was Fresh who did that. That was one of the first recording outside of the junior, but on that professional level where we started working with the maestro himself, Mr. Adrian Bailey, right? It was a whole different level, because now this is where the thing, started to get serious.
Okay.
And then Mr. B, I just call him Mr. B because Mr. Bailey for short. So he really took the junior hands to another level where, hey, this guy could be amongst the big names in soca, and he could produce just as good records as the top artists that we're having running the place now. You understand?
Yeah. But persons who are fans of yours, they know that Ragga is your thing. So has it always just been Ragga or?
No, because I used to dominate the Junior Soca Monarch for years. I won the competition 4 times, including a hat-trick, gaining a cultural award from Miss Rini Batiste, the Minister of Culture at the time.
What made the switch? What motivated the switch?
All right, I could sing. Vocally, I'm inclined. And the writing, I started to write songs, and I've been exposed to being in a band room. You get to meet the different artists and their style. You understand? And I joined soca dance from juniors, from the juniors, 2010, 2009. Island Network, Mr. Harry Khan, and Ronnie Luther McIntosh. He approached me backstage after my last competition, Junior Soca Monarch, and they told me that they would do everything in their favor to help me to really go to the next level. And that was around 2009, 2010. My dad had passed away, and they reached out to me, and I became a member, the youngest member of the Lime Soca Dance at the time, through Luther and Harry Khan of Island Network.
But what exactly was soca dance at that time?
Soca dance was very powerful musically. They were one of the most dominant music group in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and regionally, and they had that international recognition because they have been collaborating and they have songs that top billboards. You're talking about James E.P., you're talking about Luther, you're talking about Tabia, you're talking about Fireman, you're talking about Jelena at the time. They were very powerful.
Yeah.
You understand?
DJ Q was part of soca dance too?
Yes,
Okay.
but in the earlier days, I think me and DJ Q joined around the same time.
Okay.
But he had DJ Taurus as well, was in the mix, and very powerful group in terms of mobilizing and getting the music in the right places, getting the international collaborations and so forth like that. So I was a part of a powerhouse, being the youngest member. And also they, soca dance had the strongest corporate relationship
Yeah.
for years.
Yes, Lime Flow.
Yeah, man, you name it. Like,
Was it Cable and Wireless yet? No.
yeah, it was B Mobile at the
Oh,
time before,
yes, I
and then
forgot about B
B
Mobile.
Mobile. So I would have witnessed. I'm a force hand.
Mm-hmm.
I experienced it firsthand, the different changes of the musical landscape as well in St. Vincent, because I would have seen the introduction of Skinny Fabulous as well.
Okay. And when you join Soca Dance, I would assume that did a lot for your career. Do you remember the first song that really broke through on a different level and you realized,
Rodents.
Huh?
Rodents. Just the other day, Parajak and I was having this conversation. Rodents. Yeah, the first song was Rodents. Because by that time, I was in college as well, community college. So after class finish, Eric on, which was the manager at the time, used to come and pick me up after college, and we used to go for a drive, and we used to write songs and stuff like that. And he said, "Boy, I have a problem with some rodents. I want a pussycat. Give me a pussycat, oh Lord. Hey, I wanna stop the problem from escalating. I wanna." So back in the days, it had the double meaning and the songs like that. And Soca Dance was very, very creative in doing the double meaning songs. When Luther come out with Tight Spot and James EP with Naked Truth and Nookie and all these things, you're being influenced in a different way to try to replicate what they are doing to break through as well too. Not that was the main objective or that was the goal for me, but I've been around the group, and the group dynamics was so strong that they would influence you to do that sweet type of music, which is ragga. So every time class finish, Eric used to come for me, and he picked me up, and sometimes we drive and go countryside diamond, and we vibes and start writing music, and he would play rhythms and stuff like that. And I just fell in love with the slower version of music because I saw what Nookie did for James EP.
Yeah, boy.
So it turned me on.
Still doing.
And what it's still doing. So I was always, that was the benchmark in terms of music and the sweet music. And then, Scorpion, which is my family as well, he was delivering, shorty, you're looking fine, them kind of Ragga Soca music. So I said, boy, and it is palatable, it's marketable, and it has legs to cross waters. You understand? So I was always interested in that. And one thing Eric taught me is that, Hans, you gotta use your strength, because I used to want to do the power soca too, but he said, nah, you gotta focus on your strength. You're good at this. You could sing more than half of them guys out. Yeah, so, and it took me a while to really understand what he was saying, and say you need to capitalize on it. And I saw the reaction from the public, and the whole music industry at the time, they were blown away that this new voice, this new face is coming on board, and it's making waves. So that's how I really fell in love with Ragga.
You remember your first competition win now as what you're away
in the
from
big yard?
In the big yard.
First competition, same 2011. I made Soca Monarch. Mind you, I had tried Soca Monarch already. I reached Soca Monarch semi-finals in 2009, That's how long I've been. I started out in 2003, made the semi-finals with the same song that Mr. Adrian Bailey produced, right? And I made the semi-finals, but at the time, I was young. Person was saying, Hans need to pay his dues before he could reach here, bam, bam, bam. 2011, when I joined Soca Dance, obviously it's a powerhouse. You understand? You had to make Soca Monarch.
Naturally,
you had to make Soca Monarch because you're getting the recognition, you're getting the rotation on the radio, and you have big corporates such as B-Mobile, Lime at the time, behind and pumping and giving you the platform. You couldn't deny HANCE JOHN, you couldn't deny Soca Dance. Every stage at the Soca Dance touch, I was there as a member performing amongst the biggest names in soca in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So you couldn't deny me at the time.
I think
So I made Soca Monarch in 2011, and I can tell you this, Harry. While performing, the song was Jump, performed by Neil Bernard. The system cut out on me.
Mid-performance?
Mid-performance. Yeah, the system cut out on me. The mic cut out on me. I had to start over about the presentation. Start over back.
What was the thought process?
Yeah, I had to start over. I had to do this again. The adrenaline that you had running out, your spirit will be damp again. But I had to go back out there and I had to work hard. And I remember upon, taking the first low, as we would say, you tell the band to go down so that you can engage the crowd. I told them, I am the future of soca in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And in years to come, I will come again to dominate and to win the competition. I told them that in 2011.
And that same night?
When I came off the stage, I said, boy, hands, tough luck. They encouraged me. And I got tougher musically. I got tougher mentally. Spirit-wise, I got motivated. And I know that my time would come with a lot of hard work and pushing, But I kept my promise that in years to come, I was the future.
And what was the first year that you
won?
That you won?
In 2017.
With?
Sugar Mami. But mind you, I've been writing songs that would have placed above me. In the competition.
Yeah, that happens, yeah.
Because I'm a strong writer. Right? I've seen other artists that I written for place and I didn't even place.
You think that taught you a bit of humility in the game?
Yeah, I was always, because for me, right, I was of the opinion that I was getting some fight. And I was like, if I can't beat you myself, I will use other persons to break through. So when you see people, and strange enough, right? Some public perception to arrive at this level wasn't overnight. And it was strategic. I had to wait my turn and I had to put in a lot of work. And I made a lot of sacrifices to be at this level. But I was very strategic in achieving my goals musically. Right? It wasn't like I was just doing it every year. I had to analyze where I went wrong. I had to revisit, a lot of things, image-wise, what I need to do on stage. If I'm talking too much, less talking. You understand? Songs with more hook instead of sing-along thing. I revisit a lot. I had to go right back over the drawing board every year, try to improve on the areas that I was falling short. But I always, had it in me that, okay, if I'm not breaking through with my own stuff, when I write stuff for other artists, they're getting through, they're placing top 2, top 3, whatever the case may be. So what I'm doing wrong? Because at one point I felt like the system or the industry wasn't giving me a fair chance. And I wasn't getting, the opportunity to really showcase and show the rest of the world.
And that's funny to hear, given that you did have the support and you coming from a musical background, but it just wasn't enough.
Yeah, I strongly believe at the time, I was before my time in terms of St. Vincent wasn't ready for HANCE JOHN at the time, and it's quite evident at the time that, hey, had I got through back then, the breakthrough. Everybody used to say, oh, Hans, you need to pay your dues, you need to think, however you can, this common thing, however the case may be, you need to pay your dues and you need to, and that is the system. That is, don't care if it's on merit. Believe that you have to put in a body of work. And I took it not the wrong way. I took it in the most positive manner in terms of being motivated and building a catalog. That's a very important word, catalog. Because Luther used to tell me, Hans, you're going to get there, just build a catalog. Because you might record one song this year, and over a period of time, you'll be able to have at least 6 songs. Or, in the next 2-3 years, you have 16 songs or 10 songs, and you have a nice repertoire or catalog that you could sing and persons could be, enjoy that. These are hits. So I was building my catalog at the same time, writing for others in the group.
Okay.
Everything was strategically done, This didn't happen overnight, This didn't happen overnight. And then 2017, reaching at a certain level, Hericon made the decision that, hey, it's HANCE JOHN. Everybody else would have won and got fair share. And he's saying, we need to support HANCE. And big up to Fireman, because Fireman was one of the persons who really, held his ground for me and supported me right through. And not that the other persons in the group were not supportive, but Fireman was very, me and him, I was rolling. And he used to make noise and say, hey, when we go to Trinidad and stuff, like, he had to go to Trinidad to record. And he was like, if HANCE ain't going, I'm not going. Yeah, and he was that dead serious. The persons won't know that. So it's a lot that really...
Listen, I've heard Fireman say some stuff behind the scene. I mean, you realize, this is someone who has a deep love for the culture and a support for artists.
Yeah, trust me. I've seen it many times, and, he taught me a lot in terms of competition. Right? That's why winning is never a problem to me. Losing is never a problem to me. I don't take it to heart.
We'll get back to that later, though.
I don't really take it to heart because he taught me a lot. And being in a group, the group dynamics, you learn a lot from being around these talented individuals. They are legends in their own right. So I was on now come when it comes to this thing. I was well groomed.
I have to ask you, because we have the record.
Yeah.
And I don't want the official media response. I want to know what motivated Sugar Mami.
Older women.
Is it personal experience or general thought?
Nah, personal experience. I'm being real with it. I'm old enough to be responsible for anything that I see live on camera. And this is the truth. That's how you get most of your ideas. You write songs based on experience, other person's experience, and just the creative juices that flow, and you put it together. I experienced older women, dating older women. They were attracted to me at the time. I'm telling you, when you be a part of a group, when you're a part of a group like Soca Dance, right, quite naturally, you're gonna get attention, whether you like it or not. And being the baby at the time, the older women love HANCE and running. So I fell victim of 1 or 2 or 3 or 4.
Is it a victim though? How can men be victims of Sugar Mamis? How?
But the older women, and I learned a lot. I learned a lot from the older women.
Don't we all?
Yeah. And I just decided to put it in a song. And it connected wicked. It connected wicked. You're singing all these nice music and then you bring some to reality and it brings some with a strong hook line and you say, boy, okay, this is what we need. And the rhythm was just right. Big up to Kubiachi and Samwick at the time, the Banjam rhythm, 2017. Yeah, but older women, you guys help HANCE JOHN. It's safe to say that you guys help HANCE JOHN to get his first title or won his first title. So thanks.
So you just say, and you remember in certain situation, you're like, I need me a Sugar Mami.
Yeah, because all right, okay, a young, handsome guy, right? Haven't been exposed to the world, right? Now coming out of Mespo, coming into town, you're traveling. You understand? You're being exposed to certain things, and women is a part of entertainment. Women, alcohol, music is a part of entertainment, whether we try to deny it.
Very true. It's very, very
part
true.
of entertainment. So, and what I also realized that and you have to be honest with yourself, right? My fan base is dominantly women. Dominantly females. So I had to play on that. As I told you before, every move that I made was calculated and it was strategically done. I wasn't guessing when I do that. And Herrick used to always say, yo, you need to do songs for the women. Women, you can't fight up with the push down thing and they start jump up on. Yeah, let's do songs for that would highlight women and make them feel good about themselves. And Sugar Mami was reflective of that. So everything that I would have done musically was well calculated.
Okay. And then what came after 2017?
2018. Of course, one of the biggest years for HANCE JOHN. You had Deja Vu, Love of Pan, because I've been accepted now. I won a title, and person is saying, yo, HANCE JOHN is the real deal. That's when I officially got the acceptance letter in terms of being a full-fledged artist and being a household name. And that is 6 years later from 2011. And if we want to fast track from 2003 to that. So you see the body of work and the effort, you know, and the time invested and the sacrifices.
Well, Deja Vu is, well, definitely I'd enjoyed Sugar Mami the year before, but Deja Vu, I wasn't in the country, but this song really resonated with me. And I've always been curious, like, where did it come from?
Movies, being at a fete before, like having, you know, flashbacks of all the grand time you had during the festival, carnival. But how do you bring that to life? And Deja Vu is a weird word that you won't really hear in soca music. So that was one of the stuff, because we, you know, in terms of, I used to read a lot. And I still listen a lot of podcasts, motivational speeches, and, you know, words. When you read a lot, your vocab, you widen your vocab, right? So movies as well. We were just searching for different concepts. That is very critical. All the HANCE JOHN songs has a deep concept. They have a concept behind them. We just write for writing's sake. We conceptualize and we bring it to life, right? So, Deja Vu, we always having flashbacks.
Yeah, well, you know, the funny thing is, you know, I actually thought it was like you thinking about the Sugar Mami win, and given that you had so many years in soca before, you were saying, yeah, this felt like something I experienced before, like it's just another win. That's how I interpreted that song, you know.
That was just having, you know, you do something, you feel like you would have done it before. You got drunk last night, but you feel like this happened before. Everybody who party go
through that.
That's saying, boy, yeah, nah, but I feel like we did this before. You understand? Deja Vu. And at the time, they had a movie. They had a movie called Deja Vu.
I don't remember this movie. Trying like, hey.
They had a movie named Deja Vu as well, too.
Movie was that?
My the guy, the Denzel Washington, Deja Vu.
Okay.
So everything was conceptualized.
Okay,
you keep seeing things replaying and it happened before and all kind of stuff. So decided to, all right, let me bring that to soca, let me bring it to tropical, the vibes and the whole, you know. So we made it come to life. The ideas had to speak for itself and come to life, you know. So that was Deja Vu, and then we went to Union for Easterval. And we did the music video, big up to Junior Lee, Precisely Films. You see how long this is the history, you know. Union was one of the first place.
Happy Island. What's the beach bar again, boy?
There are Sparrows Beach Bars as well.
I remember that from the video, Sparrows.
So, you see Union really, so after I won in 2017, Union Island, apart from my community, was one of the place, right, that really held it down for HANCE JOHN and saying, yo, because everybody's studying Beckway for Easter.
True.
everybody else studying, boy, all them kind of one regatta and so forth. But Beckway was quite dominant.
I remember.
Union, untouched, unspoiled. You know, for you to go to Union, it was a long ride. 6 hours, yeah, you go down on the boat, you know, so, and that's one of the things that I really, you know, I had to commend Island Network and Soca Dance at the time to do, because they took the risk of going in the unknown and making it known. It was a market that was never saturated in terms of Easterval.
Yeah, because I went to Easterval in Union in 2016, and I think I went to cover the Queen show. I was working social at the time. That was my first time, because I just used to Beckway. Easter, Beckway. Came like the same word at one point. And when I got there and I experienced the culture, St. Vincent culture with a little twist, was definitely something I wanted to experience again. Right?
Yeah, man, Union is a total different vibe, and they have a great appreciation for music, right? Because they're close to Grenada, Carriacou, they're a melting pot of culture, so they have a great appreciation. Not that our mainland audience is not appreciative, you know, but they love in Union.
It's
and
different.
It was a sense of belonging, given that, all right, nobody in touch Union, and I was the first to highlight how beautiful Union is through Deja Vu music video, and it is embedded in the people's heart that HANCE was the first artist to do so, and Deja Vu, you know, became their anthem, because they have persons abroad. Remember, they stretch, their roots run deep, you know. They have persons who are from Union, living in England, living in Canada and America.
Very true.
They really embrace the music and their homeland.
Very, very
And
true.
I was the first to do that. I could pat my chest and say, HANCE was the first man to do that, to highlight a Grenadine island like that. And also the tourism aspect of it as well. I showed that, okay, it's not only about the Mustique, the Beckway, the Canna one, but Union is such a beautiful place. I highlighted Happy Island.
Yeah.
I highlighted the beaches, the Sparrow Bar and stuff like that, the turquoise waters and stuff like that, and the friendliness of the people. And trust me, it was very, 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 very magical for me, and to really make it happen. My cousin Smokey is from Union as well, to Keisha, so it was just like homegrown kind of love. And the Union, I ain't lying, Union, the entire island took Deja Vu as their anthem, and they ran with it and they push it big time. You understand?
And then 2019 came around.
2019. So I went to Ragga Soca to defend, right? Came second that year, because Fimba won with Funky Business. But also I had Love of Pan, which was one of the, still is the biggest, one of the biggest pan tunes, to Razam, Pum Pum, Love of Pan, myself and Randy Small. Is music done in the Ipania?
I know Love of Pan.
Right? We highlighted Pan. It's so, everything that was done, you understand, was strategically done. When last you hear Pan tune, you know, Razam Pan tune dominated for years.
You put a battery in San Hill Steak Orchestra back. Because when you perform that or when that play in a party,
everybody representing.
Listen.
And mind you, you know, but San Hill is one of the places, they're very competitive in sports, you name it, mass, pan, you name it. San Hill produce a lot of legends in every category. I ain't lying, in every category.
Very true.
You understand? So when you say San Hill, you know, so amazing, right? Big up to Randy Small, because he was the one with the whole vision as well too, and you know, in terms of doing and saying, yo, you need to do a pan song. And big up to Carbon Jams as well too.
Oh yeah, big up
Carbon, the producer. So it was saying, boy, we need to do this. We need to do something for the culture. So trust me, being an auditor, working at video at the time as well too. Starleaf, every time I go in the kitchen, I hear Starleaf rehearsing. Yeah, every time, right at Kingston Park, because the band room is from Starleaf, Panyard is right at Block 2000.
Yeah.
So every time I go in the kitchen and I make some coffee and thing too, you know, and then they're doing auditing, working, and you know, you get a coffee break and you go in the kitchen. Boy, I was hearing Starleaf recording, and I was like, boy, I hear that tenor beating. But Randy Small was the man who guided me and said, boy, you don't hear thing beating, you don't hear pan beating, that is drum, you hear a guitar playing, a seat pan playing.
Okay.
So he guided me, and he gave me, he gave me the knowledge in terms of the different cross section of the pans and,
and big up Rodney.
Big up Randy Small. So he gave me that knowledge, and then it was even deeper than that because he took me to the panyard so that I could understand Cyan Hill, Starleaf.
Okay.
And introduced me to Pess Llewellyn.
Okay.
You must know Pess. So we went at Bottom Tongue, and he gave me the full history because at the time the pan side used to be next to the beach. The noise and the vibration and stuff like that, they had to go to the sea. More at the beach side. So it was rich history. And I learned a lot from doing that project. It's not only about this holding a mic or singing. You have to be embedded in the culture and the history of it so that you can know what you're singing about. That's why I could talk freely, because I know what I'm talking about. I'm not guessing. So music, for me, right, for HANCE JOHN, is deeper than just writing for writing's sake. We have to do our research. You have to go in depth, and you have to read, and you have to bring things to life because you're telling a story. So when I say music down in the panyard, I was referring to Starleaf that I'm hearing every time I go in the kitchen. It's music down in the panyard. This vibes and feeling so contagious. Them judges really have it hard because Starleaf song so good. I was saying, boy, their man have it hard this year. Because, and that came to life. So 2019, we lost to Fimbo with Funky Business. Big up to Fimbo. Mr. Jardine, a fellow Mespo man as well too. Yeah, man. I came tough. I came hard with Deja Vu in Victoria Park. I delivered, of course, but I had to settle for second. It's not a problem. Mr. Jardine won with Funky Business.
I think Funky Business is one of those once-in-a-lifetime songs as well.
Boy,
a lot of people could relate to it. A lot of people could relate to that.
Yeah, and trust me, it was a monster tune. You understand? And strange enough, when I won with Sugar Mami, I performed number one.
Really?
Yeah, remember Sugar Mami, I performed number one. Sugar Mami had a whole series of drama as well too, because we had the videos with Samantha, big up to Manta. The videos were clocking numbers where we did the different teasers and the different scenarios with Manta wanting monies and wanting, you understand? So we had all these series of events taking place that took place leading up to Victoria Park. That's why I told you, everything that I would have achieved, right, was strategically done and well calculated. I wasn't guessing, and I had persons and a team of persons behind me who ensured that we made this to penetrate the market and made the brand what it is today. You understand? So I lost, long story short, we lost to Fimbo, came second, we had to settle for second. Monster tune, Deja Vu. Deja Vu really, it crossed waters. It was featured in reality TV, the Girls Mix Group, Look a Mix in London and stuff. I gained a lot of recognition with Deja Vu and Love of Pan as well too. So it was a good year. But 2019, I went back at it again. And that's with Uptown Party.
Okay.
Quadrille rhythm. Mark Cyrus, Darren Andrews produced that rhythm. You understand?
Darren Andrews produced?
Yeah, man. Darren Andrews was the one who brought the whole quadrille rhythm to life with the keys and additional production as well too.
Okay, I didn't know you produced.
Yeah, man, Darren Andrews is a big producer. Big up to Darren Andrews music every time, you know. And these are persons who are close to me.
Really?
Like my brother, yeah, Darren Andrews is my brother, man.
Okay.
You understand? So, back at it again. I settled for second, but we back at it again. 2019, the war ain't done. It ain't done until we see it done. So, Uptown Party with a downtown vibe. And I could tell you this. It was not just about the music for HANCE, because I have the dancers now. So I started to take the thing on a different level in terms of the dancers and having my own team global. It used to be La Gracia dancers, but then I said, you know what, but we need to build our own team, and we started to groom our dancers, and we put together Team Global. At the time, Natasha, they were the most senior persons.
Pick up Natasha.
You know Natasha, Kamajang, and Zoe De Silva at the time,
Zoe.
right? And we decided to pull our team together, but we had a little issue because we're missing somebody to guide the overall production. Because it used to be amongst myself and the dancers who would come up with the concepts and how to execute. But I'm saying, but that's taking a lot. I want to focus on singing. Sean Fredericks, Mr. Sean Fredericks.
Big up, Sean.
Sean, a lot of persons might ask who's the mastermind behind a lot of my presentation. But big up to Sean. Sean is the one who's responsible for a lot of the work you would have seen from 2019 to now. And he has been doing a great job. Natasha and Sean, because Zoe had to go away and new life and so forth. It was Zoe and Natasha used to be conceptualizing and seeing her, right? But Sean came into play as my production manager, as the one who governs the production for competition and so forth. And he's very creative and he's very good at what he do. And it took me a while to understand production and what he wanted to achieve.
Stage production.
Stage production.
Okay.
Right? As I used to say, oh, I had this in my head. And he said, no, but production, from a production standpoint, how you go, is this attainable, how you could achieve this, and you know the pros and cons of doing that. And he brought stability to all the crazy ideas in my head, because I realized that, okay, I can't be focusing on doing a presentation yet. Singing is taking away, it's taking a lot from me, and it's taking away from what I supposed to focus on. So I built a team. Sean and Natasha dealt with the dancers and the choreography and make sure that we don't repeat all the steps and you know, and all kind of stuff. So,
but Uptown Party with a downtown vibe was a different type of song. I have to ask, where you get the concept from? Where did you get that concept?
Trinidad, Uptown Fete, Hyatt, Lime.
Okay.
How you would apply it to St. Vincent, because we don't party normal. Know how to be uptown, right? I thought about Carnival Escape at the time was a growing phenomenon in terms of events, you know. And I thought about all those parties that, hey, I see people getting on bad, well dressed, yet they would take off their shoes and they would party. I would say they unbuckle the shirt and they would party. So it's an uptown party with a downtown vibe. But going to Hyatt Line, because we went to Trinidad for Carnival a year when Fireman was competing as well too. And we were exposed to the different fetes. And they would say the Uptown Fete. And then I just apply it to, you know, to St. Vincent. And then musically, Darren Andrews brought the folklore rhythm. Hey, you come from Betty. So yeah, you think that? Sammy plant peace I am. Like the folk tale, the music, the vintage music, and that was quite dominant in the production of the quadrille rhythm.
Okay.
You
never looked at it like that?
Sammy plant peace I am down a gully. anything that you could sing on it that is folk tale could fit on the quadrille because it's folk.
Alright.
And also he brought the Jamaican folk to it as well too.
Okay.
You know, along with
thought
Mark
that
Cyrus.
was like that.
Along with Mark Cyrus and because we wanted something that could capture the mature audience, best of both worlds, juggling best of both worlds, because he had some vintage music was coming back as well too. And I think Swappy had done a song similar to that as well, and we saw the influence of the Red Boys coming on stream with with a lot of the productions regionally. So we had to think outside the box. So as I mentioned again, everything was calculated. This was not a guess or this trying. We studied the market and we knew what was required. We knew what the product was and what people would appreciate, because people have been longing for that type of music. So when I do music, the music would pull from every demographic, every age group. So while I'm dominantly supported by females, I have a very strong, mature audience. I'm telling you.
agree.
Yeah,
I
big
agree.
people who are listening HANCE JOHN music. So I had to play on that as well.
Okay.
And yes, the stats was there. The stats still here. When I watch the social media engagements and the insights and I'm reading them, I'm just not doing music for doing music's sake. I had to read the numbers and I did the stats. And one thing I must say, that being a part of Island Network or Soca Dance at the time, we were exposed to the various business of music, workshops, and training that would enlighten you and give you the knowledge to better understand the creative industry.
Okay.
So I was at school as well. You understand? I was at school. A big part of it, I was at the University of the West Indies, Capefield, and being exposed to culture, the different islands. They had something to offer, but Island Network made it mandatory that we attended the workshop put on by the OACS business unit, competitive business unit. There's always training for the creatives.
Okay.
And we took full advantage of that. When there's an opportunity, whether to go St. Lucia, Antigua, Barbados, you name it, I was always willing to go, and they would submit my name to go. So I learned a lot from the key industry players, stakeholders. I learned a lot from persons who are doing it on the international level and how it will be applicable to our Caribbean community.
Okay. You mentioned Island Network and Soca Dance a lot. So I have to ask you, because we're 2019 and there's going to be a 2-year pause. So while we're at that 2-year pause, I have to ask you, right? You're in Soca Dance. Growing up, it was all Skinny versus Fireman, Skinny versus Fireman, Skinny versus Fireman. How did it feel for you? How did that, feel for you in Soca Dance? Well, you're right there.
I was also instrumental in that rivalry. Being a songwriter. And Fireman had one body title with Unruly.
Unruly was 2015, 16?
Yeah, about. Yeah, I was instrumental in creating that monster. Big up to Kubiachi, because me and Kubiachi go way back when. I remember, being a part of that project. We wrote that project, myself and Fireman, we wrote that project at VJ's downtown.
Okay.
And we were orchestrating, because I think Fireman had lost, he lost the year before, and he was looking for that song, and we had something, he had an idea, and I got better at writing, and my pen was hot at the time. So I say, yo, Fireman, I coming back home, from studies and stuff like that. So when I touch down, we go deal with it, we go orchestrate, you understand? When a Saturday evening at VJ's, we sat down upstairs, pen and paper, and we started writing. And Fireman, he has a wild imagination, wild. Don't get tricked with Fireman. He's very intelligent as well too. He understands soca music and he understands how to deliver. He understands how to deliver for a Soca Monarch. He knows how to create a Soca Monarch song. So all that in the mix. I was deep in the rivalry because I penned the song. And I was like, Kubiachi at the time was saying, boy, Hans, boy, like you're the brainchild behind some of these monsters that are happening. You know, and you need to focus on yourself and your thing. And I was like, but it goes back to the system again. The system ain't giving me what I want in terms of recognition and all kind of stuff. But and then I created the monsters. That went on. You know, myself and Vibe, we wrote that song and we went on to capture Soca Monarch again as a songwriter.
All right. But then when you see all those Fireman performances over the years, did you apply any of it to your stage presence on the Ragga side? Well, Fireman was on both sides, but you know what I mean?
I applied everything from everyone. I learned from everyone.
Okay.
Even you might look at somebody in the competition and say, oh, this person is not top. I analyze and I study every artist in the competition. Every single artist. Even though you might think that, oh, this artist music is not, I analyze because they bring something different to the table. I pull a page from everyone.
Okay.
Skinny, Problem, Fire, Bomani, Scorpion, especially Scorpion because he had a wicked delivery. And his dancers, he was in sync with his dancers and they look good on stage. You understand? What I captured most from Fireman is the stage command and conviction. Right? That is needed. A lot of artists are performing, yes, but they don't have any conviction. Skinny has it. Fireman has it. Problem Child has it. Scorpion has it. Luther has it. James P has it. Because he would have mastered the craft. Marshall has it. It's, you know,
look at him being humble. HANCE JOHN has it. Because I was at Waterworld this year.
Yeah, the conviction is needed. You need to command the crowd and tell them, hey, you need to listen to me. You need to listen to what I'm saying. You need to catch this. You know, and it took me a while to understand that, but I saw Fireman do it over and over, and he's so good at it naturally until I started to practice, and I got it.
Yeah, man, I would tell you, there were, you're at Waterworld, you know, backstage there were a lot of people there, producers, managers, other artists, a lot of people, media, a lot of people were backstage. And while people were there partying and he came, I saw a lot of people had to stop and really look at the way that you control the crowd during your performance. And I gotta give you flowers for that. That was a really good performance this year.
Yeah, man, thanks. And it goes to show, you know, the experience do matter. It do count. But as I mentioned, then it came overnight. Then it come overnight. What you're seeing here is the, you know, is the evolution, is years of work and learning and having an open mind, you know, and also being humble about it. And you have to understand the market in terms of the music and your craft. I spend a lot of time developing my craft, by the vocal ability, engaging the crowd, singing with the band, image. I spend a lot of time finding new ways to really raise the bar. You understand? So, and I learned a lot from every artist, especially our legends. You can't forget Beckett. You can't forget Poser. You can't forget Winston So. You can't forget Touch. You understand? You can't forget
Up Touch.
all the legends. Even Gao. People getting tricked. Gao was one of the men who brought humor. You understand?
Who did that before Gao for real?
You understand? You had the Killer Snake. Whoops Whoops. Man, Killer Snake. You had all them guys, Raskoko. You had all them guys. I the same all the time, doing it, because he live in the area where, you know, I go and my kids are, you know, we live in the same area as well too. So you have to pull from the different pages. And you have to apply it, as I mentioned, conviction when you open your mouth or when you go in front of a microphone, you should not be guessing to what you're saying, because we used to always kicks about it and saying, hey, you're dealing with some people in the audience who are hard to go with, especially when they have alcohol in their head. How are you going to control these people? How are you going to make these people listen to you? Or some of these people sober, right? They're song-minded. Your job might not be as easy because they're not underneath the influence that if you tell them, hey, put up your hand, they got instantly do it. So how are you going to do that? You have to have conviction. You have to be able to convince these persons that, hey, what I'm saying here and what I'm commanding you to do is what you need to do. This is required of you.
All right. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
it makes perfect sense.
It's not just, it's a whole, I've been studying this thing. It's not like, oh, Hans is guessing here. I'm not guessing. I'm not guessing at what I'm doing. You understand? I've studied this thing. I've studied the craft and everything. So 2019 was just another test for me to pass, and I did pass, and I recaptured the crown with Uptown Party.
And then we have to skip No Mas to 2022.
2022. But just in the mix of that, just on the brink of COVID, Uptown Party landed me a spot in the International Soca Monarch semi-finals in Trinidad.
Really?
Yep.
Now I'm embarrassed. I'm supposed to know that.
But I'm telling you, so years of work.
How was that? That was your first time going to Trinidad?
It was not my first time going to Trinidad, but to be competing.
Naturally.
On that international stage was, that was my first time. And I can tell you this. I got a warm welcome and I did exceptionally well. And persons, the Trinis, they showed me a lot of love. I could never forget that. Even on the live and, all the artists, you say, boy, Hans did well. HANCE JOHN, very promising, and we're looking to see him in the finals, but unfortunately, I did not make it into the finals. But St. Vincent and the Grenadines, that's when I really, truly know that, hey, I have a strong fan base, I have a growing fan base, and I just want a couple thousand more fans
in Trinidad.
In Trinidad and even in my home country. And I've always wanted the opportunity to go and touch a big stage. Yes, I went overseas and I represent St. Vincent, Caris Festa, World Expo, etc. But on an international Soca Monarch stage, I always wanted that. That is one of the dreams, that I always wanted to become a reality.
Okay.
And I came close enough.
Okay. And then 2022.
All right, well, we had COVID. But coming off of COVID,
Speak
of course.
for yourself. I never had COVID.
Right. So, coming off 2022, all I need, of course, the music and the consistency was always there. Because I've been always writing. I'm always looking for new ideas. During the COVID time, I got the opportunity through a writing camp with Red Boys, Darren Andrews being a part of it as well. We had different producers from across the region, top producers, Precision Production, Borchell Records from Jamaica, Shamus from the United States, the Heavyweights. And I'm talking about these producers did work for like Grammy Award artists and stuff like that. Red Boys, when it comes to soca in Barbados. True, a writing camp put on by Island Network and the OCS Competitive Business Unit as well too. And we work along with different artists regionally and songwriters, from across the region. So we linked up and I got a session with Red Boys. And that's how I did All I Need.
Okay.
So it was from that writing camp. We did tons of songs. And it was from that writing song I got to work with Red Boys, and we, form a relationship from then to now. So I did All I Need coming off of COVID.
Okay. And then that takes us to
Back to Ragga Soca again.
mm-hmm.
Defending had to settle for second.
Was who came
Fireman, I
first?
think Fireman won that year. Fireman won that year.
Okay.
Right? And I came second.
Okay.
And then moving on to that, the following year, right, which is 2023, celebrating 20 years in the music industry, I gave birth to Uptown Party. From a song to an event. Uptown Party in 2023. Working along with Red Boys again. We did Breakout Time. I came second because I was focusing on the event and trying to build this brand, because what's next to Hans? Okay, you won twice. You came second. You're already dominating, the public without a doubt. In their eyes, I'm now the new king of Ragga.
Yeah. So what pushed you to do your own event?
I needed a product. My fan base, my fans needed something apart from the music to hold on to. They needed another brand. They needed something. I needed to go to the next level, right? Mm-hmm. As I told you, celebrating 20 years in the music industry is no joke accomplishment. It's something that it can't go unnoticed. So what better way to celebrate 20 years in the music industry by using the name of my song to create an event? And I did so with Uptown Party. We brought Olatunji Engine Room. Was the biggest tune at the time.
Natasha encouraged you to do that?
Well, it was like, what can we do to take you to the next level?
Okay.
Like Herrick, and I sat down and we spoke about it, and my family, Jano as well, Michael, he was very supportive of it, and I said, we need to celebrate 20 years, and how can you go about doing this? And we had the resources, them guys had the resources at the time as well too, and the corporate St. Vincent, they saw the vision, and I gotta say big up to the corporate St. Vincent, whether it's Flow, Hyrule, you understand, Curry's, all the business houses would have invested in HANCE JOHN or the HANCE JOHN brand, and it takes vision to see what I want to achieve, and you took the risk and to be a part of something that initially was just one individual view, but today there are so many persons who are now capitalizing on that simple idea of having an event called Uptown Party. Even my family, at first, a lot of them, has your show, this, and even like the government and the CDC, they supported me 100%. The government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, not to be political in any way, but being a cultural ambassador, the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines supported the vision. You understand?
I feel like a lot of people, right? And you say your fan base, your stronger fans are women, and a lot of women were interested in going to Uptown Party.
Yeah.
Because I remember it was something new, and a lot of my female friends were like, nah, we're going to Uptown Party.
But
we're
most
not going to miss
importantly,
Uptown Party.
if you took away Olatunji being the featured artist, a lot of persons came to hear HANCE JOHN.
Yes.
And the music over the years that brought me to 20 years. So that says a lot, So I'm truly blessed and grateful for the opportunity that God has given me, right? I'm coming off of COVID and to create this event and stuff like that, because I had COVID, I had dengue and food poisoning, and then COVID right after. 2020.
That's a lot.
Coming off of that.
Boy.
See, life has taught me a lot, right? And I'm very spiritual in the sense that I pray a lot, and my mother does pray for me, right? As I told you, I grew up in church, right next to a church, but I had to give thanks and praise to God for really bringing me this far. And I know that there's purpose in what I'm doing. Because I'm not only creating music, I'm changing lives. You understand? So, yeah, it's not just all the good times and the bad times. I had to talk about the bad times too, because it's off the record. Yeah, times when I felt like, I was on my last in the hospital, and that's when I felt like giving up. But I had my daughter, Paige, and I was saying, boy, God, have mercy on me, so that I could see my daughter grow and my mom, and, it wasn't easy. I felt like that was it. I felt that. Yeah, I felt that. I felt like that was it for me.
What brought you back?
Prayers, man. Prayers. I had to pray a lot. And being at the hospital, right, taught me that faith is the greatest asset a man could possess. Faith in God. Right? Because without God, I am nothing. And I was reminded that He gave me life. And I said that when I was on my last, because I had some shocks and thing. My body was going into a shock and thing, and I hear the nurses and the doctors say, "Oh, don't make it." Because I was going through like some Raggas and thing. That is the constant trembling and cold and stuff like that. And they were saying, "Hey, don't make your body shut down." I had a hard time breathing. Yeah, it was a real episode, and I was like, boy, I dare praying, and I said, boy, trying to fight back, and all my life flashed by. I was crying out kind of thing, and I was saying, Lord, but you ain't give me life, so you can't take my life. Because I felt Mr. Death. I felt the presence of the forces around. And I said, but nah, boy, God give me life. He had the final say. And I was saying that you could ask the nurses who were there on the ward. I know they remember me very well. Male surgical. I said, man, you ain't give me life. God give me life. And I said, Lord, have mercy upon my psyche. And Lord, have mercy on me. Have mercy on me. And I was praying, and I was there fighting until, boy, I get stabilized and stuff like that. My feet were swelled because of the IV. I was down there, Other thing, I couldn't eat, very weak, and so forth. And it's strange enough, when I recovered from that, the guy who was in the corner, he was good all the time, He was good all the time. He was humble, cool. Boy, when I don't go through my episode and stuff like that, but the man started to kick up. Then the guy next to me now started to pull out his IV.
What kind of thing?
And I give a movie, the guy next to me. And strange enough, he was in Blessing's music video because he did sell broom right by the entrance of Tokyo.
Okay.
He started to pull out his IV, and he started getting real bad, but I didn't pain. Excuse me, because I'm recovering as well from that episode. And I was like, what happening? The man over there started getting real bad next to the window, throw down thing. Man started to pull out his IV next to me, and I was like, yo, why you don't pray? Pray and thing. The man said, I don't know how to pray. I said, ask God. The man said, who is God? Right there and then I knew it was the devil, because he didn't got me. So he was using everything around me to frustrate me. You feel that was done? I had to move because somebody came up from the Grenadines who tried to kill themselves. So I had to move. I had to give up the bed that I was on. A whole episode from 99 to the morning, You think I was done? The guy know there's a possibility that he might want to attack other persons because he tried to kill himself, and a real episode on the ward. And then I had to move to a next side. I go on the back now. Right? Face to face. Well, my bed foot was down. We had bed foot sides like straight ahead of me, 12 o'clock. Right? When I went wrong there, I fell asleep, but during, sleep and wake, look of pain in between, I heard the guy next door gasping and thinking. I think maybe he's snoring. However the case may be. See, when I wake up around 5, well, because I didn't get to sleep, right? See, when I wake up, there's a dead man next to me there. I heard this man taking his last breath. next to me, you know. I woke up to a dead man next to me.
There's any heights of COVID.
I'm telling you. December the 3rd. And that happened. I fell ill on the same day as my madam on her birthday.
Wow.
Right? This guy died next to me. So all the episode with what happening, man pulling out Ivy getting on bad. And then I heard this man gasping for breath and thinking. I said, boy, he probably thinking because I know. You know, you just had them like a feeling. But I never thought he was gonna. But life is fragile, so.
It really is.
The man, when we got up and thing, you see all the doctors come and you see the tag, you see the man pull over the sheet, thing come to write off and make sure he, that whoever, man die. And I heard that, I experienced that through the morning, so a part of my musical journey is a spiritual one as well, right? When I won the first title, I said, God is good. Because I had lost my good friend, Carissa Clark. When you were together and we catch flights together coming back home, I lost her. We sang in college, we were part of the performing arts. So my journey musically is a spiritual one. It's not just music, that's holding a mic. Because I know what I went through, how hard I had to work to reach this level, and then what I experienced. You understand? That's why I'm very humble. And while at the same time, I am grateful to God for not only blessing me with the talent, but to give me the gift of life that I could be here to do this interview and I could see my daughter grow. And also to have a son as well. You understand? All that took place in the mix, and then but we come back here and somewhere along the lines you feel move and person say, Hans, you need to come into the church and you need to do this work and you need to give us your life to Christ. And I have no problem with that because I've been getting all these motivation and encouragement, which I do appreciate, right? But I always believe that God will put you in places to solve or to carry out his duties so that you could win persons differently and you can make an impact and do what he wants you to do. At the end of the day, God has the final say in what I'm doing. You understand? That is why I tend to keep my music clean. I tend to help others. Right? Whether it be writing a song or sponsoring, I give back a lot. I don't have it. There are days when I struggle. There are days when I question, boy, how I'm going to make it. You understand? But God has been creating the opportunities and opening doors for me. So that is the spiritual side of it. Everybody have a purpose. Maybe this is my purpose. This is my purpose to deliver the music differently and stay and influence the youths in the right way. Because I've been doing a lot for the youngsters. From being a reading ambassador to being a community activist, you name it. I've been doing stuff, being motivational speakers in schools and, I've been doing my part, and that is purpose. That is not just, and that is God's will. That is not just music and so holding hands, jumping up on stage and whatever the case may be. That is just purpose. Not to stray from what I'm saying, but this is a part of the journey of HANCE JOHN. So that all I need, good friends and good vibes. Darren Andrews, Red Boys, we did that. It was a monster tune again. Working with Red Boys opened up a lot of doors because Red Boys have a serious track history, have a serious track record in terms of producing some of the biggest hits of soca. And man, we're back at it. 2024, Wetty Beats, Travel, Spectacular, highlighting women.
Not just going in and skip over spectacular. Spectacular.
I don't know how much time we have, but yeah.
We don't have a lot of time. But you have to tell me what happened behind Spectacular, because Spectacular is my favorite HANCE JOHN song. I gotta know. That was a beautiful song. I always say, Hans, remind me of Voice from Trinidad. And when you came out with Spectacular, I thought that was going to be the next. Turn Me On, the next.
Yeah.
Huge.
I get
soca
that.
song.
I get that all the time. Spectacular. First time in Notting Hill Carnival, because I accustomed to be at Toronto, New York, Labor Day and stuff like that. But we decided, Wetty Beats, big up to Wetty Beats, because he always encouraging me to, Hans, you need to come over to, these parts, Europe, and you need to come and experience, the carnival on a different level and, the networking and stuff like that. So we went to Notting Hill Carnival. Big up to Chuck T as well and the whole team, right? Went to Temple Mass, got booked for Temple Mass to perform with them on the road for Notting Hill Carnival, right? Mind you, I used to go England, but it was more on cultural, national duties, being a cultural ambassador with the SVG 2G and the diaspora committee up there as well, the committee up there, the Vincentian community up there. But I never really took in Notting Hill Carnival because it's around the same time with Labor Day and stuff like that. So I went over there and I experienced Notting Hill Carnival on the road. And I met this beautiful young lady, right? And being HANCE JOHN, right, I decided, we on the road, we having fun, we enjoying, you understand, the whole atmosphere. It was my first time experiencing carnival. And this young lady kept watching me until she approached me and thing, and then she said, look, a conversation, and she she really up on me real serious and thing. I said, Lord, cameras around, people watching, but she looked real good and she was on to me, right? And this is a true story. She on to me big time. I could talk because I won't get in trouble because, yeah, but so I was like, damn. Then she talked to me. I think she reached out and she said, hey, Hans, boy, I like your energy, your vibes and everything and what's not. So what he beats at this time saying, you need to come to Holland and let me work on some music because his studio is right there. I had got a booking in Holland as well to do a after Notting Hill cool down Fete and stuff like that. So hopped on a plane and everything and I stayed. The promoter wanted to put me in hotel and stuff like that. And Wetty Beats like, no, save that money. Let's, you could stay by me, have the studio there and what's not. And boy, Wetty Beat, we had a long conversation, we catch up and all kind of stuff. Because me and Wetty go way back when from since the juniors. So but we were talking and he played a rhythm for me and boy, I see Hans, you need to do something for women. Been a while since we highlight the women and make them feel good about themselves and play with their self-esteem and big them up and stuff like that. And he played the rhythm. Happened so I was talking to this said young lady who called me and said, hey, how was your trip? And I said, over here. So with the vibes in and stuff like that. And how you met. How we met. So we were going back like how we met, and the rhythm was playing and stuff like that. So I was like, I fell in love with the road. I fell in love with your waistline. And it was that was actually how we met. Up close and personal, because she up on me, Up close and personal, like you want to FaceTime. I feel in your energy, like this baseline. Because she was kind of shy as well too, but alcohol can make you breathe. So I say, kind of shy, but the liquor have you breathe. Broke out time, girl, you come out to rave, so take the green light. Spotlight, video light. It's just time to shine, darling. And he was like, yeah, that is it.
That is it.
That was it. And Wetty came in the room and thing and say, boy, Hans, you're onto something. And he said, boy, woman, you're spectacular. And that was it. From what he said, spectacular. That was it. So the entire song was based on, meeting this young lady. And strange enough, she will say, I wonder if you really tell persons the truth how you wrote Spectacular. And when that song, actually blew up or got big, or whatever the case may be, just remember to give my royalties. So what kicks it off on it and stuff like that. But she's a good friend of mine, and and she made this song come to life by simply meeting somebody on the road. It's an experience. So I decided to put that to life, and bring it to life, and it got Spectacular, and went back for Ragga Soca again, competing. We won. You understand? And we delivered, and we brought out Mama Culture, Miss Rini Baptiste. She's expected. Yeah, man. Big up to Miss B. She did a lot for culture, and I could tell you this. It was an honor to experience her work from a junior to now, and I felt so proud and honored to highlight her as being, a spectacular woman, not only in culture, but in law and order, in the legal landscape as well, regionally, international. As being the chair, being also a female politician, and paving the way for a lot of things that we take for granted, like carnival. Miss B fought for carnival, fought for culture. You understand? And she ensured that we got our recognition.
Yeah.
You understand? Cultural ambassadors didn't came out of nowhere. But the government, and the government, and not to be political again, but the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, they really place us in a different light. Because for some people it's just a passport, but it's more than a passport, it's more than a diplomatic passport. Or the goodwill ambassadors that they call us. I wear that title with honor and respect. And I am proud to be associated with carrying the flag of my country anywhere I go. And the opportunities that we got. You understand? Going to Carifesta, going to Wall Expo to showcase, going to represent. Right? It's more than just going on a stage and perform. You're selling your country. You're selling the culture. And sometimes we look down at soca artists and we say, oh, you're limited. You're limited to the seasonal, jump up on stage. You're limited to the seasonal. After Carnival, that is it for you. But the goodwill ambassadors or cultural ambassadors have been doing a lot of work. They go unnoticed sometimes, but we have been doing a lot of work internationally. We do workshops. We do a lot of charitable events. We give back. We put on events and we give back. We're making a valid contribution to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And some people might say, oh, them are just cultural ambassadors, but we are doing our part. We're keeping, whether you want to accept it or not, we're keeping the carnival alive.
I agree.
We're keeping the carnival alive. You understand?
Yeah. With that being said, and in the interest of time, I have to ask you, for a lot of people who look at HANCE JOHN growing up, who follow your journey, and who would emulate you and who would use you as their inspiration, what would you say to those people?
There's no substitute for hard work. There's no substitute for hard work. You have to put in the work. Hard work won't kill you, laziness will. My dad used to tell me that. Right? There's no substitute for hard work. There's no shortcut in being successful. You have to put in the work. And most importantly, you have to love what you do. That's why winning was never a problem for me, or even losing. because I know what it feels like to win titles, as I've been winning from since I small. I know what it feels like to lose. I know what it feels like to be unrecognized or unappreciated. I know what it feels like, as I've been there before. But you have to be persistent, and consistency is key. But there's no substitute for hard work. You can't reach at this level thinking that you're going to take a shortcut. Sometimes the long route and the failures and the setbacks are all a part of the journey for greater things, for greater results. And you have to work hard. Music is hard work. Building a brand is hard work. Having having an event is hard work, right? But you have to love what you do. If you don't love what you do, you won't be a part of it for so long. Can you see yourself doing this for a lifetime or 5 years from now? And it's not even about the money. The money will come. I'm not saying that you're gonna get your service for free or your whole life for free, but you have to put in the work. And you can't cheat yourself. You have to work hard, smart, and you have to take risks. You have to take risks. And you have to have an open mind towards learning. And I could tell you this. Keep your family close. They're the ones that you would need, because music, there are times when it gets very difficult, when you get lonely. Take away the stage, take away all the fans and everything that you're accustomed to. It gets very lonely. It gets very lonely. And you would need the most genuine people around you to give you and show you love. Because, as I mentioned, there are times when you can get very, very lonely. I'm blessed to have my family around, after every season. Sometimes, even if you win, it could get very lonely out there. I found myself in a hotel room one time, very alone.
I know them ways.
You understand? Very alone, and saying, boy, I here chasing this dream and, making this thing, a reality. But it gets lonely. Because when you're tired and you go, you don't see no crowd, you don't see all the pretty girls jumping up in front of the stage. You go back to your hotel room and you're there staring at the ceiling and you say, okay, this is what's happening. And then your life could reflect. So you can say, but how long can I do this thing? I see myself jumping up on a stage at age 65. So a lot of thoughts. And mind you, I be thinking like that because I know that we are part of an industry that has no pension or gratuity. There's no retirement plan. So you have to make the most out of it. And every year we keep seeing new artists coming on stream. We keep seeing, a new song. It's very easy for you to get erased or forgotten.
Yeah.
You understand? So you have to strike it while it's hot and put in the work and build a brand. Become a brand. Build a brand. Build a product. Brand loyalty. Work towards that. It's not just putting out music. Build a catalog and rally your community. Big up to Evesham, the Maracay Valley. That's where I'm from. It's a farming community, and the love in my community is different. They support HANCE JOHN full 100. Not seeing me and everybody good, because, you might have one or two people who don't like you because of success, and you have to understand that. Bad mind is everywhere. You might find one or two, but 99.9 of the persons in my community, I love them and I show them. They show me a lot of love. So that's your first fan base you're going to rally. Your community. You understand? And I've been doing that, and that has helped me to reach. And I'm keeping them happy and engaged. Never forget where you come from. show them love and always appreciate, the persons who are there for you. And be humble and pray, because your talent could go away from you. If you don't use your talent in the right way, you can lose your talent. And the Bible highlighted that.
Yeah, very true.
Understand? So use your talent in the right way. Use your talent that could change life and could help persons around you. If you're wrong, HANCE JOHN, I've been changing and helping others. Right? Because it might come a time that I won't be here forever. And I had to pass on the baton to somebody else to help others around you. That's why it's important that you could share your light. It's like a candle, Enough people had a light but afraid to share it. So it was never a problem for me to write for other artists while we're competing in the same competition.
Yeah.
Because I'm sharing my light. It's never a problem, right, when other artists come through and they win. Or they beat me in a competition, so to speak. Mm-hmm. Right? It is never a problem because I'm accustomed to it. But my purpose is a greater one. Even like the big debate now, I would Soca Monarch. How come HANCE in place? I don't even worry about results because I've done it all. I've conquered a lot of the challenges, and I cannot be selfish to the industry. I might have my personal opinion towards certain things. Yeah. Right? But I'm not a person to be upset if someone else win. I'm happy that someone else win. And they are coming through. You understand? What I can do say is that in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we need to have a greater appreciation for our own and what we do. We need to embrace that. But all in all, thank you guys for having me. Enough love and respect to the fans, to my family, my friends, well-wishers, potential fans, and persons who are listening. Right? We need to support our young people more. And I will leave with that. We need to support our young people more. We have lots of talent here, but we're not giving them the right support. Right? And when I say the right support, I'm not speaking public sector, although they are to create the opportunities and the platforms and the linkages and so forth. But corporate St. Vincent, don't wait until you see the another HANCE JOHN. Or don't wait until you reach the level of HANCE JOHN to support. Invest in the youths, you understand? Invest in our young people. We're going to benefit in the long run. Yep.
Very, 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 very true, HANCE. And this has been Off the Record.
Off the Record. Hey, big up my 10 baby mothers on them. Off the record. And big up I've been saying that from since Juve morning. Big up to SVG players, big up to Team Global. I had to big up my kids. How can I sign out without bigging up Paige and Major? Daddy love you. Big up to Paige. She did well. She's going to grade 2.
Okay.
You understand? Major still in preschool and he's doing well. And big up to all the farmers. And big up to my workplace as well. To some of my biggest fans from my workplace as well, which is Ministry of Agriculture, Economic Planning, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, my community. Mama John, I love you as always. Thanks for always having my back and praying for me. I have a praying mother. Once you have a praying mother, you ought to be successful. You understand? And big up to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the government and people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.